I thought I would go to immigration office, get my visa immediately, in and out in less than an hour. But I was so naive about it and it took me much longer. Going there was just the beginning of the process and it made me realize that the process won't be easy. After passing every challenge of moving abroad and every difficulties, I finally was in Thailand, but I had to face the very last challenge, which was getting my visa. I finally got back to my dorm. I couldn't get the visa or even the receipt for that. I should go back there maybe tomorrow or the day after that. A document was missed and it wasn't even on me. It was on the dorm and I called them several times, but they didn't answer me correctly, so I should go back there in person. In the meantime, before going to the immigration office again, I had to attend classes, I had to write my book, and honestly keep myself busy. I'm watching one of my old vlogs. This is my foot. I'm studying it for my series. If I want to survive here and don't go crazy, I should work on my series. I should really try to hit my goals. And also I didn't want to record any videos right now because of this, but who cares, you know? This is all the result of so much stress on me. Okay, now I'm going to get my visa. I'm a little nervous. Let's go and then we go back to class because I have 2 classes today. I went to immigration office again. This time I had all of my documents and they told me they will process my work and my visa. I was so happy about it that even though they told me you have to wait and I lost 2 classes that day, I didn't care and I waited. I should wait for my visa and now I'm in a cafe having caramel macchiato. I'm gonna go and start writing my book until my visa gets ready. And I also wrote my book while waiting. I wrote 1,000 words. I left the immigration office that day with the receipt. I was so ready to get the documents and get the receipt and get back to the university, but it was like, no, you should wait. And I was like, okay, I waited this long and I will wait. But I lost my first class. When I say first class, I imagine the first class in the airplane, but that doesn't matter right now. Until they were like, okay, you should wait a little longer. So I lost my second class. And let me tell you something, it is embarrassing, but I couldn't find any restroom. So by the time that I went back to dorm, my bladder was screaming at me. So I kept myself busy not to go crazy while waiting for my visa. I kept working on my series, the series you're watching right now. In that time, I was working on the first episodes and I had no idea how it's gonna turn out. I was just figuring it out. Since morning, I was editing my video. Actually, the pilot episode of this series. It was so fun. I love it. That's what I'm gonna do today. Just write, edit, and record. Meanwhile, I was also writing the first draft of my second book, and in that time I figured out a very easy way to write, which was by voice typing. So none of it matters. My eyes are searching the room for Kai, or at least a sign of him. P.S. I don't recommend that if you're editing your book, but for the first draft, it was very easy. But you know that life is not always your favorite busy. Sometimes it is just doing chores and forcing yourself to go shopping, even though you don't feel like it. I need to go shopping and go to pay my rent. Apparently, they won't magically get done, so I'm gonna go and do them by myself, even though I don't feel like it at all. And I'm gonna take with myself my backpack, so it's easier for me to bring my shoppings here. I was just experiencing the reality of independence, which is not that attractive that you might think. It was more like carrying heavy bags and waiting in the bus stops. I'm stuck in the bus stop with 2 bottles of water. But all of it just motivated me to keep going and achieve my goals until I finally finished the first draft of my second book with over 60,000 words. I finished the first draft of my second book! Yay! And I immediately started writing the first draft of my third book, and I made myself a writing challenge to finish that book in only 30 days. In the meantime, I was also preparing my series to get published on November, but when your life starts to change, you also lose people. Not literally, but in a way that you realize your own values, and when someone doesn't meet those values, you cannot keep your relationship with them. Today, I got to say no to a friend. Like, she asked me to do something for her. Even though I'm so busy, I could make time for her. She said that she called me and my phone was out of reach because duh, I'm in Thailand. And she didn't even bother to ask why your phone was out of reach. And I was like, okay, you don't even care about me, why should I? I wanted to tell you that if you have these friends in your life, say no to them and just ghost them. You deserve more than this. And also don't be such friends. Those 2 weeks passed like this, and I finally gathered my courage to contact immigration office and ask if my visa is ready.
For English, please press 1.
Hello, good morning. Yes, thank you so much. I finally got my visa approved, and that was the last step I took to enter my new life, and I started living the dream I had for 2 years, and I tried my best for it. And all of it made that day a bittersweet experience for me, that I was feeling so much passion about starting a new life, and at the same time the sadness of saying goodbye to my old life. But I ended it with a great meal that I cooked for myself. I'm gonna have steak to celebrate my victory. And I celebrated that night with making myself a toast, and I thanked my old self that fought with everything she had to make me this new life. To Elina, who never gave up. The first few weeks of my first semester, they were really busy and I had many projects to do. One of the projects was for a presentation class. I had to make a video and make a persuasive presentation. I was so busy that I had to do it in the last minute. So when I wanted to record that video, I didn't really check the requirements of the assignments, and I just started making it without anything. I recorded the monologues, I recorded B-rolls. It was even following a storyline. And I did everything to make it kind of like a YouTube video rather than a project. When I wanted to submit, I realized that I just had to sit in front of the camera and recorded without any edits. But it was too late and I had to go to the class, so I just submitted it and I went to the class. I asked the professor about it. I told her that. She was like, that's okay, that's fine, and you don't need to worry about it. So I was relieved. But actually in the middle of the class, my professor played that video for everyone. And when the video went on screen, my heart was beating in my throat and I was embarrassed. Sitting right there in the class with my classmates that I didn't know many of them, my voice playing loud, it was an undescribable experience. In those 2 minutes, I wanted to melt down in the floor, but at the same time, I was a little passionate to see how others would react. The funny thing is that a few weeks after that, in the same class, we had to make in-class presentations and we had to write down evaluation on paper and give the person who presented their idea. After I gave my presentation, I got a few notes, and a few of them told me that they remember me from the video they watched in that class, and they told me that it was really interesting, which they gave me butterflies, honestly. And with that, I realized that it is so good to put myself out there sometimes, and I don't have to hide myself from everyone and all the time. Actually, it is funny because I've been working on social media for years now, but that experience of being exposed in real life, it was really different than social media, and it was a great experience for me, which made me realize that as scary as it is rewarding, and I really like to do that again.